you found out Fred was dying?
Spoiler!
Yeah, you explained it.
I've actually told the story, so I apologise at this before. We were in Japan when the final book came out, and I was on the bullet train. And I just got to that particular chapter. Just as I'm literally reading it, and without sounding all arty-farty actor person, it was literally like reading in like a friend of mine had died. It was really, which surprised, that's reading it surprised me, and then I was more surprised by my reaction to reading what had happened, like how I was feeling. I was like, oh. As I'm doing that, this Japanese ticket man came around and was kind of pointing at me and said something in Japanese, which I assume was, can I see a ticket? And I was kind of like, hang on, I just died. And he was like, no, ticket. I was like, dead. So, it kind of like was a complete whirlwind of emotions in that time, but it was very surprising, but equally it was, in a way it was, I don't want to say cool because it wasn't cool, but it was different for the fact that it kind of affirmed to people that twins aren't always together. They don't have to be together to be individual people. So it's that kind of thing that we answered and described. How did you feel?
I'm glad I just lost an ear. Yeah, it was interesting, as James said, it was in one way it was quite good that it wasn't both of them went down together. And I think it was even more poignant that Fred was with Percy at the time than not with George, because it just shows that they're all brothers. Just because they're twins doesn't mean that he's going to react to him a lot more than the other. But yeah, that's kind of it. And even more thankful that it happened in the last book and not the first.
If I can ask you a quick follow-up. That scene in particular, it personally hit me pretty hard. I have a related experience, and I'm curious about the preparation for that. Was that something that you really had to do a lot of meditative work about what that would be like?
Well, not for me. Actually, going back to easiest days on set, that was one of the easiest days.
Yeah, there was a little bit of it, yeah, because you had to get into the moment where you're thinking, you know, everybody at some point, unfortunately, has lost someone close to them, and it's getting yourself into that mindset and almost feeling that thing. And I remember Julie Walters. I spoke to Julie Walters about it a couple of weeks before. And how do you get into the mindset like that? Which is the best thing is to just really involve yourself in that emotion. And when you go to set, just be in that. If someone tries to talk to you, just almost blank. So you're in that set. You can always apologise afterwards that you didn't talk to someone, and they'll understand that you're in character, you're in the zone. So on terms with that, and getting a little eucalyptus blowing in my face, so I was like crying. It was it was quite an interesting day. But I was told beforehand that it would be a closed set, meaning that it would literally be like the Weasleys and the camera, and that was it. Instead, we get to film and the whole break hall's filled with people and bodies and stuff. So that was, if anything, that was more weird crying in front of a load of people than anything else. But subsequently, since I think people take a story like that and overdo it. So it must happen on a weekly basis. Somebody sends me a thing on Twitter saying, "Is this true?" And there's this photo, and because it's a photo we text on the internet, it must be true. And it's this whole paragraph about how James and I were in floods of tears throughout the whole building to the process, and we hugged each other and said, "I love you" at the end of it. But I suppose that's people want it to be as real as possible, and I can kind of get where people make stuff like that up from, because it sounds a hell of a lot friendlier, or a lot more romantic than he fell asleep on the floor on the